and how the first time Beanie met Fredo was in the Calumet buildings where Fredo was posted up with a rifle. Fredo was still only around 12 at the time, but he was definitely ready for smoke.
Damn.
That was also the year he caught his first charge. So Fredo did the beef calm down for a while, but then in November 2014, the Migos caught Fredo and Sosa's homie Capo at a restaurant and allegedly put hands on him. It's not clear exactly what went down, but Capo hopped on Twitter and said, "Migos soft as hell. Y'all just had 20 niggas and I was by myself. Fuck niggas, link." That's when Fredo jumped in and warned the Migos about playing with his people. He tags him on Twitter and said, "I'm in LA, but stop playing with Capo and BD before I get your whole camp killed. Facts, my word is law, so don't test."
They told me presidents was smart, so how the fuck I'm getting stupid bands? How about the Suburbans so icy, feel like Gucci man?
Fredo Santana. Crazy and sad story of Fredo Santana, the death that shook Chicago. This is by Hip Hop Daily. They're a great channel, and I mean, what else to say? I mean, they got a great channel. I'm expecting this to be a great video. That being said, if you're new, make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below that you did that. And if you are a current subscriber, join the Noti Gang, turn on notifications, comment down below, Noti Gang. Without further ado.
None of them shook the city like Fredo Santana's death. He was so respected in the streets that even his ops didn't diss him. And today we're breaking down how he became a Chicago drill legend. Fredo Santana came up on the south side of Chicago and was mostly raised by his grandma. His dad was a real street dude named Big Shug who was in and out of prison his whole life. Fredo wasn't around his dad a lot, but once Fredo posted a picture of his dad holding him as a baby in one hand and a gun in the other.
That's crazy.
Since his dad wasn't around much, Fredo's brother Drisky taught Fredo how to move in the streets. He got active at a young age and started selling crack cocaine when he was just 12 years old. Fredo and his brothers were repping a Black Disciple set called Front Street back then, who had major beef with gangster disciple crews like Charles City and Mob. The war between Mob and Front Street allegedly started in 2002 after someone from Front Street allegedly killed a Mob affiliate named Studda. It's not clear exactly why they wanted Studda gone, but it sparked a crazy back and forth war that left a lot of people dead on both sides. A year after Studda died, Max from Front Street killed a dude from Mob named Worm and got hit with a 75-year sentence for taking him out. Mob clapped back and allegedly killed a dude named Emo from Front Street. Then Chief Keef's cousin Blood Money slid on them and killed a dude named Limo. Fredo and his homies were based in the Calumet buildings, and Fredo was holding down the block before he was even a teenager. Beanie Sigel was one of Jay-Z's biggest artists on Rockefeller Records back in the day. By the time Fredo was coming up in the streets, Beanie had already been in the game for years and worked with some of the hottest rappers alive. But before the fame, Beanie was a real street dude, and even after he blew up in the industry, Beanie liked to chill in the hood. He told a story about going back to Chicago to kick it with his homie, and how the first time Beanie met Fredo was in the Calumet buildings where Fredo was posted up with a rifle. Fredo was still only around 12 at the time, but he was definitely ready for smoke.
Damn.
That was also the year he caught his first charge. Fredo didn't stay on the streets for long though, and 2 years later he went to juvie for hitting a teacher. By the time he got out on probation, Fredo knew he was done with school, so he dropped out and started rapping and getting deeper into the trenches. Fredo probably would have had a good career no matter what, but his cousin becoming the biggest drill artist in Chicago definitely helped. Chief Keef is Fredo's blood cousin. Fredo was 5 years older than Keef and taught him everything he knew about the streets, and Keef paid it back by helping Fredo wire his raps. Keef had been rapping since he was 5 years old and used to record tapes on his mom's karaoke machine, so by the time he started taking music seriously, he already had a ton of experience. Back in 2010, Fredo ended up behind bars again. While he was locked up, Chief Keef was shooting his first music videos and building a little buzz in Chicago, and Fredo knew he had crazy potential from the jump. When Fredo came home, he decided to start managing his cousin, and that's when everything changed for him. Chief Keef dropped his mixtapes, The Glory Road and Bang, and they were picking up a lot of momentum in Chicago. Keef had to chill out for a minute after he was placed on house arrest for shooting a gun from his whip, but getting locked down didn't stop the hustle. Keef started posting videos on YouTube, and that's when he dropped the track, I Don't Like. I Don't Like is the reason Chicago drill took over the rap game. It blew up and put Keef and Reese in the spotlight immediately, and it's also the first time anyone outside of the city heard Fredo's name. Reese shouted him out on his verse and raps, "Broski got the 30, he ain't trying to fight. Got your bitch, I was in it all night. Fredo in the cut, that's a scary sight. You not with the shits, you can die tonight. Fredo in the cut, that's a scary sight."
The way he
such a popular line.
the way he read
Fredo
is
called his
hilarious,
first mixtape, It's a Scary Sight. That same year, Sosa and Fredo created Glory Boys Entertainment and wanted to level up and sign all of their homies on the label. Chief Keef dropped his debut album, Finally Rich, but Glory Boys Entertainment never really took off like they planned. When Keef took a deal with Interscope, they let him have his own imprint, which he called Glory Boys. But the deal didn't last long, and in 2014, Interscope announced that they had dropped the label. Fredo never became a superstar like his cousin Chief Keef, but he still had a huge fan base and kept his momentum up by dropping mixtapes like Fredo Krueger and Street Shit. Even though the Glory Boys label didn't work out, Fredo didn't let it slow down his grind. He started his own label called Savage Squad Records and had plans to take over the industry with his homies from Chicago. In 2013, Fredo got a lot of shine after working with Kendrick Lamar and Pee Wee Longway. He also linked up with Drake and started Drake's music video for the track Hold On We're Going Home. Fredo was making big moves in the industry. But when Chief Keef started beefing with the Migos, Fredo hopped in and reminded everyone he wasn't just a studio gangster.
Remember this.
It all started when the Migos dropped the track Broken Knees and Offset raps. You ain't got no money in your pocket, don't talk to me. No comprende, I talk Benji. Whipping the Anna, Nicole and Lindsay. No off days, everyday payday. My diamonds looking like KK. You broke and asking for favors. Young nigga, I got 40 acres. Apparently, Sosa thought they were sneak dissing them because Keef's daughter is named KK. So Keef called the Migos out on Twitter over the situation. That's when the Migos clapped back with the song Jealousy and Takeoff rapped, they're jealous and they envy me because I'm really who they want to be. I ain't never did a sneak diss, call my hitman quick to put you on the hit list.
Oh snap.
Then took a shot at Keef with the line, fuck nigga, you saying we dissing? Mistletoe chopper, then bullets come kissing.
Oh
Don't enter Atlanta without no permission. Leave them stinking like chitlins. Then Chief Keef responded with the track Pull Up and said, I just heard the ops is pulling up. We ready to fire them pussies up. We've been in a lot of bullet wars and we done bought a lot of bullets for them. At first it seemed like it was just some industry beat. But then someone tried to kill the Migos while they were in Miami. The Migos were riding around in the tour van after their show in Pembroke Pines. And that's when someone pulled up next to him and started letting off shots.
Dang, RP
Someone in the Migos crew started busting back though, and the other whip pulled off. Nobody was ever booked for trying to take out the Migos, but street rumors say Chief Keef's cousin Blood Money was a shooter. The beef calmed down for a while, but then in November 2014, the Migos caught Fredo and Sosa's homie Capo at a restaurant and allegedly put hands on him. It's not clear exactly what went down, but Capo hopped on Twitter and said, Migos soft as hell. Y'all just had 20 niggas and I was by myself. Fuck niggas, link. That's when Fredo jumped in and warned the Migos about playing with his people. He tags him on Twitter and said, I'm in LA, but stop playing with Capo and BD before I get your whole camp killed. Facts, my word is law, so don't test. Fredo made it out of the trenches and was staying in LA, but he let the Migos know he was ready for anything and said, I will do the time for it too. The Migos clapped back and said, niggas hard on the web.
Peter Parker.
I'm hard in real life too. Check my field record.
Oh snap.
Not much is known about the work Fredo put in the trenches during his come up, but he had a reputation all over the city. A dude from O Block named J Hood, who came up around the same time told Cam Capone News that Fredo and Lil Reese were both really about that life and had people scared. J Hood said a lot of dudes from the internet to look tough, but Fredo wasn't like that at all. And according to rumors, Fredo almost killed a GD named FBG Butter back in the day. Before we dive into the story about Fredo shooting at Butter, let's get into why Butter was one of their biggest ops. Everything allegedly started after a BD named Edric Walker was shot and killed.
BRB.
According to rumors, the BDs thought some GDs from STL EBT were behind his death, so they slid on a 15-year-old STL EBT member named Tuka and killed him at a bus stop. Nobody ever got booked for the shooting, but rumors say that a well-respected GD from Wick City named OD Perry was there when Tuka died. OD had a big name in the streets, and Lil Reese said that all the ops were afraid of him. And that's why what happened next was so shocking. Tuka was really tight with Butter and a girl from the set named K.I. Tuka's death had a major impact on K.I., so she allegedly linked up with FBG Butter 8 months after Tuka died and slid in op territory on Tuka's birthday. That's when Butter and K.I. allegedly spotted OD riding his bike on the 400 block of East 64th Street and shot him to death. OD dying was a huge loss for Wick City, and that's when they changed their name to O Block in honor of him. There are a lot of rumors about who actually pulled the trigger on OD though. Booski from STL EBT shouted Butter and K.I. out on Twitter for making O Block, but some people think a dude from Mob named Scrap was actually behind the hit. Scrap eventually got caught by the ops and shot to death, but a month before he died, he tweeted, "Fuck O Block, we made O Block, them other niggas lying, no bullshit." And on the track Exposing Me, Scrap's brother Ruger raps, "Got some information that you bitch niggas would hate to know. Niggas talk that shit, but they don't even know who made the O. Drop a bag on your head, my shooters get paid to blow." K.I. and Butter might not have actually killed OD, but that didn't stop them from becoming two of O Block's biggest ops, especially K.I. King Von and some other BDs allegedly caught her lacking on a train and put hands on her, so K.I. hopped on Twitter and said that she had some bruises, but her 40 cal put a hole in their faces. King Von and K.I.'s relationship on Twitter aired out the beef where everyone could see it, but they also flirted back and forth all the time. At the same time they were flirting though, both of them were putting work in the trenches. One of Von's closest homies was a BD named T-Roy, and K.I. allegedly shot at T-Roy's cousin. After she beat the case, she went right back to the streets, but then some dudes from a BD set called 800 allegedly put hands on her again. K.I. wasn't just gonna take it though, and right after it went down, she allegedly slid into their hood and shot at some of the dudes who beat her up. Then K.I. took another loss that pushed her even deeper into the streets. Lil B was one of the most notorious GDs in Chicago. He used to be linked up with a BD set named after Edric Walker called TYMB. Edric and Lil B were blood cousins, but Lil B fell out with the set after rumors were going around that he snitched on a dude named Manny. Lil B's name was cleared eventually, but by that time, he had already switched sides. Less than a year after he split off from TYMB, Lil B allegedly shot a dude from the set named Solo, and that kicked off a crazy shooting spree. In September 2011, he allegedly killed a dude named Jizzle from a set called Squirt Town. It's not clear exactly what happened, but witnesses say there was an argument and then both sides started shooting out of nowhere. Then just 1 month later, Lil B went sliding in BD territory and allegedly murdered a dude from Trap City named Rio. Lil B was putting a lot of pressure on his ops already, but then he did something really shocking. In October 2011, Lil B allegedly walked straight up to O Block and shot Oogie and Platoon. A dude from O Block named Jay Hood said he was outside with Oogie, Platoon, and a couple other dudes, but he had to run upstairs to see somebody. When Jay Hood started going up the stairs, he heard shots going off. So he looked out the window and saw two shooters standing over Oogie's body. The shooters ran off and Jay Hood went to check on Oogie, and that's when he saw Platoon laid out with gunshots all over his body. Crazy enough, Oogie pulled through and recovered, but Platoon was pronounced dead and the cops named Lil B as the main suspect. Then just 2 months later, Lil B allegedly caught another body after he tried to rob a car full of dudes. According to reports, Lil B upped his strap and they started handing over their ice, but then the driver tried to speed off and Lil B shot him in the head. O Block lost another dude named Sherroyd a few months after that, and the gun that killed him was the same one used in the murder of Jizzle. Some people think Lil B killed Sherroyd too, but other rumors say that a dude from STL EBT named Boss Trail is the one who pulled the trigger. Then in 2012, King Von, J Money, Big A, LA Capone, and Manny allegedly killed Lil B's homie P5. Rumors said they set him up, and P5 realized what was going on, but Manny shot him in the back, and then the rest of them finished him off with 6 shots to the face. Lil B was already sliding like crazy, but P5 made him go even harder on the ops. Around a year after P5 was killed, Lil B was looking for J Money and had one of his homies driving him around. Lil B was laying low in the passenger seat where they couldn't see him, and they followed J Money and his homies E-Dog and Prince Dre for a while. When J Money stopped at a laundromat, Lil B's homie dropped him off down the block, and Lil B started creeping around through the alleys. He popped out while J Money was loading his laundry and started letting off shots. J Money got hit and fell down, but he tried to get back up and escape. Lil B wasn't gonna let him get away though and kept letting off shots. He hit J Money in the chest and forehead, and J Money was tragically already dead by the time paramedics rolled up to the scene. Lil B was one of the BD's biggest ops, but they weren't the ones who ended up taking him out. In March 2014, the cops allegedly caught Lil B making a drug deal and tried to arrest him. He He took off running, but they cornered him in an alleyway and shot him 7 times in the back. Losing Lil B was a major blow to K.I., and she allegedly took her pain to the trenches and killed one of Fredo's closest homies just a month later. In April 2014, Blood Money was chilling outside of his house on the 5600 block of South Elizabeth Street when someone rolled through and started letting off shots. Blood Money had just come back to Chicago after signing a record deal with Interscope out in LA, and his death was a huge shock to everyone. There are a lot of rumors about who actually killed Blood Money, but if K.I. was really the shooter, it didn't take the BDs long to get revenge. One day after Blood Money was killed, King Von found FBG Butta and K.I. walking down the street and shot both of them. K.I. had dropped their location on Twitter right before the shooting happened, and that's allegedly how Von tracked them down. For years, nobody knew who actually killed K.I., but Von was always a suspect. He allegedly even rapped about it on the track War With Us and said, "Knock all that meat out your fucking taco. Hollow tips spinning like cyclones. FaceTime a nigga like iPhone. Put a pretty op bitch in the morgue. Call that bitch drop dead gorgeous. Damn, I'm heartless. Bitch, you can call me the Tin Man." FBG Butta used to deny that Von was the shooter, but during FBG Duck's murder trial, Butta took the stand and admitted that Von is the one who killed K.I. He told Cam Capone News that he's finally telling the truth because Von is dead now, so it doesn't matter. Butta wanted to take Von out himself instead of getting him locked up on a murder case, but he can't do that now, so he might as well tell the real story. Von isn't the only one who tried to kill Butta though. According to a dude named FYB J-Mang, Fredo caught Butta outside one day and started shooting at him. So if Fredo really wanted to put pressure on the Migos, it could have ended badly for him. But luckily they squashed their beef with Chief Keef before the situation got anyone killed. Around the same time Keef was having drama with the Migos, there was also beef between him and a lot of homies back in Chicago. Back in the day, Keef and Fredo's GBE crew were clicked up heavy with Lil Durk's OTF movement. They were basically all the same group back then and were doing shows and making music together. But they weren't just linked up for the industry though. All of them repped the BDs and really came from the trenches. Lil Reese really started to blow up after Keef dropped I Don't Like, but Reese was really putting in work with Lil Durk back in the day. FBG Butta had an interview with DJ UTV and talked about the time him and 3 of his homies all got shot at the same time.
Me, Tochi, Rare from Gyro, we all got shot that night.
Durk and Reese both got booked for the shooting. Even though the charges were all dropped, Reese pretty much confirmed shooting at them after he told DJ U,
"They know what's up. I done seen some niggas on this bitch on the pop before."
Even after Durk, Keef, Fredo, and Reese were all blown up in the rap game, they still had one foot in the trenches. And in 2013, Durk got booked on a gun charge and was held on a $100K bond. Almost everyone in OTF and GBE showed him support on Twitter. But Keef never said anything about the case and just tweeted, "OTG, hashtag only the glow." According to rumors, Durk needed help getting 10K to bond out on the gun charge, but Chief Keef didn't want to help him. Durk sat in jail for a month before he could get the money together, and that's when he took a shot at Sosa by tweeting a reference to his first day out freestyle and saying, "I'm back, bitch. Yeah, I'm back, bitch. Did you miss me? Or you ain't care, bitch? I'm free." Then the beef started getting more serious. Durk went on a massive rant airing Sosa out, but first he shouted Reese and Fredo out for not being fake. He took a lot of shots at Keef and said Keef would already be dead if he wasn't linked to 300, then banned Sosa from the hood. Keef clapped back and bragged about just buying a new 4-wheeler for 10K, which was exactly how much Durk needed to bond out. Sosa also allegedly let a BD named Trey 5 sit in jail instead of helping him bond out. Trey allegedly put in a lot of work for the crew, and rumors say he was involved with killing FBG Duck's older brother, Brick. So Keef not giving him bail money felt like major disrespect to the dudes in OTF. At first it was just Durk and Keef sending shots on social media, but then the situation got way more real. A huge fight broke out between the OTF and GBE crew at a show, and Keef's homie Ball Out allegedly got his chain snatched. After it went down, a dude affiliated with King Louie named Grump started telling everyone that Lil Reese choked Durk at the club that night because Ball Out's chain got snatched.
I been knew you was going on with Dirk. I was right there when you choked Dirk, nigga. You telling me I don't know what's going on.
The story shocked a lot of people because everyone knew how tight Durk and Reese were. A lot of people think Durk is the real reason the war in Chicago between the BDs and GDs really started popping off, and Reese allegedly caught one of the first bodies. Lil Durk comes from a BD set called Lamron, and back in the day they were beefing heavily with a crew called No Love City. No Love allegedly killed Durk's homie Lil Mo back in 2009, and Durk took a shot at them on the track RIP Lil Mo and rapped, "Niggas talking crazy like Durk ain't about nothing and fuck no love cause they ain't on nothing. 64th is where I stand, 40 cal in my pants. Run up on one of us, you gon' see who gonna blam." Laramore allegedly clapped back in the streets too and took out 2 No Love affiliates back to back. Laramore had a lot of beef with Brick Squad too, and in 2011, Durk's homie Tasky was allegedly killed by Brick Squad members. That's when Dirk dropped the track L's Anthem and changed everything. He took shots at Brick Squad and their homies Woogle World and rapped, "Brick Squad, I say fuck 'em. Woogle World with 'em, so fuck 'em. I'm in these streets, no ducking." Dirk used to go to school with some Brick Squad dudes like Lil Jojo and didn't have any personal beef with them. But after L's Anthem dropped, Lil Jojo decided to hop in the booth and respond. Jojo wasn't even a rapper, but after he heard the diss track, Jojo knew he had to clap back.
He ain't really want to rap until he heard Lil Durk's song, that L's Anthem. Man, he went crazy. Fool, he ain't like that. He said, you heard that, bro? Hell no, we finna go crazy. That's it. First, he made the BDK because he felt like basically the man dissed us on the national on the radio. You know what I'm saying? So he wanted to diss them on the largest scale possible.
Back then, it was normal to diss ops and rival sets, but Lil Jojo changed Chicago forever when he dropped the track BDK. Instead of just going after Lamron and the crews that were clicked up with, Lil Jojo took shots at every black disciple in the whole city. Chief Keef had popped off with his track 300 where he rapped, "Bullets hot like the sun, nigga. She like Sosa, I'm a big fan. Bitch, I'm leaning like a kickstand. I'm high, I'm smoking ganja. Fuck a Tuka gang, bitch, I'm 300. So Lil Jojo responded by taking shots at 300 and every other BD in the city with the line, "These niggas claim 300, but we BDK. BDK, yeah, bitch, we BDK. We stacking, bitch, so you know we cracking trays." Then Jojo sent a shot directly at Dirk and rapped, "Fuck trying to wife a bitch, they out here stretching. Dirk say, fuck Brick Squad, so I can't wait to catch him. Squeeze his fucking 40, now they got him on the stretcher." Nobody had ever called out a whole crew like Jojo did with the BDs, and it set off a shocking chain of events. Jojo had a huge target on his back after dropping BDK, but that didn't stop him from sliding. Jojo allegedly caught Lil Reese in traffic and recorded the whole thing. Then Jojo clowned Reese on Twitter over the situation. Rumors say that Reese or somebody else tried to kill Jojo right after that, but Jojo just hopped on Twitter again and clowned whoever shot at him. Reese and Jojo went back and forth a lot on Twitter, but then they saw each other again in person, and Reese told Jojo, "I'ma kill you."
And I'ma kill him. Hey, Jojo, I'ma kill him.
Jojo went home and started clowning Reese some more on Twitter, but nobody had any idea that was gonna be his last day alive. Later that night, Jojo tweeted his location and said he was on 069. And just a few hours later, someone rolled up and shot him to death. The next day, Reese dissed Jojo on Twitter and said, "Damn, I just woke up to the Jojo shit. Fuck him." And Sosa tweeted, "It's sad cause that nigga Jojo wanted to be just like us," and said, "I know the real Brick Squad, hashtag 300. Nobody's ever been booked for Jojo's death, but a lot of people think Reese was involved. Another theory though, is that Chief Keef's homie Poo Poo was the one who pulled the trigger. Rumors say Poo Poo was one of the main shooters in the crew, and Sosa gave him a shout out on the track War when he rapped, "All these damn frenemies, I'm gonna call up Poo Poo, man. I got niggas in these streets, they fuck around and do you, man. I'm rich, hallelujah, man. Still got my toolie, man. Fuck with me, I'll fuck around and screw your mans." Then on the track What I Claim, he said, "Young Money, no 5-1. Lamron, 4-6 shit, sending shots at 051. I'm on it now with Poo Poo, and yes, he will shoot you. Pop pills and shooting niggas, swear I'm going cuckoo." Then when someone on Twitter asked Sosa who Poo Poo was, he said that he's 069, which is where Lil Jojo died. It's not clear who really killed Jojo, but Dirk and Keef were both putting pressure on the ops and have been homies for years. A lot of people still believe the rumor about Reese choking Dirk, but Reese told Cam Capone News,
That shit false. That shit came from a hating ass op. That shit fake. Never, ever, never.
And on the track Rumors, Dirk raps about the situation and said, "What you know about popping out and trying to hit their face first? They like smirk, your ass be tripping, better put your case first." Choking who? I heard them rumors, niggas better play slow. I don't want no niggas who you catch, I want the one I paid for. Reese might have never put hands on Dirk, but the situation with Sosa and the OTF dudes was about to get even crazier. Boss Top, OJ, and a few other dudes in OTF broke into a crib that Sosa and his manager were renting and raided the place. Keith allegedly showed up while it was going down, and that's when Boss Top snatched his chain. Fredo was caught up in the middle of all the beef since he was cool with everyone. He was always the oldest one in the crew that everyone looked up to, and he was never talking crazy online or sparking beef for no reason. Sosa was his blood cousin, and it would have been easy for Fredo to just hop on his side and cut everyone else off. But instead, Fredo handled it differently and just stayed out of all the beef. And Boss Top told DJ Vlad,
"When me and Keith had our differences, folks never really got in that shit, and I respected that shit. Like, he minded his business. He still a holler at me, like he'd be talking to me, like, he'd answer his phone around him. You know what I'm saying? Still be texting me, still FaceTime."
It looked like the situation was gonna get worse after the robbery, but luckily Dirk and Keith squashed everything over FaceTime. Fredo was on his way up in the industry, and it left all the street drama behind. He moved out of Chicago to get away from it all, but one thing he couldn't escape was his drug addiction. A lot of rappers sip lean, but Fredo was abusing it on another level. He grew up losing friends and family members to the streets, and lean helped Fredo deal with it all. Back in September 2017, Russ went viral for wearing a shirt that said, "How much sands and lean do you have to do before you realize you're a fucking loser?" Fredo wasn't rocking with the disrespect, so he clapped back and said, "Until I can stop thinking about my dead homies and the trauma that I've been through in my life, that's when I'll stop." A few months before that, Fredo had to be hospitalized after a seizure, but he said it was from working too much and not sleeping enough. Lean has been a part of the rap game for years, but it all started with blues musicians from Houston back in the 60s. They were cutting cough syrup with beer and wine coolers to get high, and the rappers who came up in the area learned it from them. What's crazy about the lean situation is that it pretty much stayed in Houston for decades, but then DJ Screw blew up and changed everything. Screw and his homies rapped about lean all the time, and it started spreading through the South. 3 6 Mafia dropped a track, Sipping on Some Syrup, in 2000, and that's when most people heard the words Purple Drink. Rappers all over the place started sipping lean, and a lot of them only picked it up because they heard other dudes rapping about it. Juice WRLD said that he was inspired by Future to start sipping lean when he was a kid, and in an interview with Rolling Stone, Future said, "It really bothered me. It bothered me a lot. Now it's like, oh shit, how many other 6th graders did I influence to drink lean?" DJ Screw ended up overdosing and dying off of lean. Then his homie Pimp C died the same way a few years later. And Lil Wayne allegedly started having seizures and almost died from drinking lean too. Lean got popular all over Chicago, and 600 Breezy told DJ Vlad that he probably spent over $1 million on it. And G Herbo told Vlad that he probably spent at least $50K drinking lean. Lean is crazy addictive after you start sipping it, and Fredo just couldn't stay away from it. In October 2017, he was rushed to the hospital again after Gino Marley found him on the floor with blood coming out of his mouth. After he got out of the hospital, Fredo hopped on Twitter and said that he was thinking about going to rehab and tweeted, "Hopefully I can be the face to show niggas to slow down, and we got our whole life ahead of us. Fuck being rock stars getting high. I got PTSD." Fredo was diagnosed with liver and kidney failure. Fredo knew he needed to change up how he was moving if he wanted to live. But unfortunately, he'd already done too much damage to his body. In January 2018, Fredo's girlfriend found him passed out at their crib and called 911. It was tragically too late for him though, and Fredo was pronounced dead from a fatal seizure and cardiovascular disease. Chicago has lost a lot of rappers too early, but nobody expected Fredo to go out like that. He was one of the most respected dudes in the city, and even his ops didn't have anything bad to say about him. In an interview with DJ Vlad, FBG Duck shouted Fredo out and said he was a real dude who just handled his business and didn't go around dissing everyone's dead homies.
If you think about it, he was a respectful dude. Shit, I mean, he never showed no sign of disrespect. You feel me? Like, he just did him. So it was like, shit, no disrespect to him.
FBG Duck even wrote a verse about Fredo on the track Chicago Legends and rap. Can't forget about Fredo either. Businessman try to keep it legal. Stand-up nigga, he fed his people. Hell no, I ain't talking no pizza. Fredo was respected in the streets and allegedly put a lot of pressure on the ops. But people close to him say Fredo was a really good dude who just wanted to help everyone out. Back in 2012, when his name was just picking up some buzz, Fredo shot a video with Gino Marley and DJ Ken for the track My Blood. While they were leaving the building where they filmed, a bunch of fans came out to see Fredo, and Ken said Fredo just took all the money out of his pocket and started handing it out. Fredo Santana never tried to hit the mainstream like some of his homies and become a star. He just wanted to move past all the street drama he grew up in and help out other people who were stuck in the trenches. Unfortunately, Fredo couldn't beat his addictions though, and Chicago lost a legend way too soon.
On November the 15th,
My mic's been muted this whole time. My mic's been muted this whole time. I don't know when I muted it. Hopefully, we'll see. Comment down below how y'all feel about this video. If I can even recover this. Make sure to like, subscribe. Peace out.